What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Jinx Ain't Nothing Wrong. And I thought, well, yesterday was my birthday. It was August 1st. If you guys actually paid attention in the video that we posted yesterday, I did mention it in the middle of one of the matches just to see who's paying attention. But I wanted to do a celebration. I turned 35, and that means I am no, it has nothing to do with Leblanc. But I just thought about the character that I had a lot of fun with within the last recent days was Leblanc, and I haven't done a guide in a long time. I'm actually looking at my YouTube and the last time I did a guide was like when Vex and Lilia dropped, and I wanted to do more of them, but I think I just kind of like fell off a cliff when it came to them, right? So I wanted to just briefly talk about LeBlanc, why she's so strong, how she got things banned. I actually like Lost Chapter, the old school version, even on Echo. It was win summon, refill your spell mana, and I didn't know at the time, but Leblanc was the one that like was really crazy with it. But I was using it on Echo with the chrono breaks. I would chrono break Echo, and then I would get my spell mana back, and then I play another chrono break. It was crazy. I haven't played Echo in such a long time, and I really need to. I absolutely love Echo's entire constellation. So what makes Leblanc so strong? Let's first go over what the character does in general. Let's go over the deck, and then we go into relics and things like that. Now we have this nice fancy thing here where we can even click this button here, and I forgot I muted all of the lovely sounds in Runeterra because I was studying. Deceptively Deadly, it has a part 1 and 2. Part 1 is just that a sharper resolve goes in hand, it costs 1 less, so it's a 2-cost card. Getting it all the way up to here is just, it costs 0. It makes it a ton easier. The reason why is because LeBlanc is synonymous with Reputation. Reputation is about striking with a 5 power or more unit. We'll look at that a little bit later. It also synergizes with her own nastiness, but what people really like here is the everywhere, everyone. If you level the champion in this game, when allies attack, and it's an order of attack, so it's not like H1 that attacks, you get a LeBlanc, no, just after you initially attack. So free attacks do work with this as well, but as they attack, you summon an ephemeral LeBlanc. Now, it is not an exact copy of whatever like your LeBlanc on the field is. So if you have a LeBlanc on the field that's 100-100, it's not going to be 100-100 LeBlanc. It is whatever the base form LeBlanc that you currently have. So if you have equipment or relics or anything that's on it that is on summon, that does trigger, right? So that is why she's so cool, and we have now dubbed her the Summon Queen, right? So that's just basic. So what does LeBlanc actually do? She actually just levels very basically if she's seen 15 damage. I've seen makes it a little bit harder because you have to have her on the field and then she has to see the damage, and it's just damage. And I think that this is a misconception that not that I've revealed, but I've been showing you guys in my LeBlanc videos that you can easily do damage not just by attacking, but mostly it's more put in our brains that LeBlanc, she has 5 attacks, so she attacks 3 times, and then you will level her up, right? When she levels up, you create a mirror image in hand. So let's just quickly go with a mirror image. Just pick any ally, summon the exact ephemeral copy. So that one, if you have the 100-100 LeBlanc on the field, you can exact copy it, and then you now have another ephemeral 100-100 LeBlanc. So that is actually how that works, but it's ally. You can pick a champion, you can pick a follower, it does not matter. Now when LeBlanc is leveled, every time you do 15, she sees 15 damage, you will create a mirror image in hand, so you can keep generating them. But if you already have 1 in the hand, it reduces the cost by 1 instead. So, and the cool other part about it, I think I've also shown this in videos, is that with LeBlanc, with the mirror image, you can mirror image LeBlanc and then like do 15 damage, and then they will trigger. The first one will create the mirror image, the second one will then reduce it by 1. So it's a really cool chain reaction. If you have multiple LeBlancs on the field, you're able to constantly reduce the mirror image, then play another mirror image, then you can have 3, do it again, do 15 damage. And as you guys see, once we go through the relics, you'll also know that there's very obvious combos with this. It's just so many ways. The reason why she's so good, unless before we go into the relics, it's just because she has a lot of flexibility with multiple of her on the field. She also has the flexibility of summoning, utilizing summon effects for a one-time boom usage, and those two things combined just make her a really strong character. I don't even know what the hell they would do to make her 6-star. The only thing I could think would benefit her of a 6-star is actually getting her like the support champion stuff and the items, certain specific items on certain cards. I think that would help her out, but outside of that, she's just really solid. So let me also briefly go into what the starter deck does before I go into the relics. I'm getting ahead of myself, right? So this is her at level 30, right? So at level 30, you'll have 3 blue slots, but as you're leveling, let's just look at the champion levels, what they actually entail. There's really important things that you're gonna get here. I think that is important. I mean, level 2 is immediate. This is Thrashing Snapper is really good, especially for leveling LeBlanc. This thing can challenge, pull something in. It gets 5 attack, really good. Bloody Business, Mana Potion is just, as you can see, Reputation. As you strike with, can I actually? No, I can't. But yeah, Reputation, it gets cheaper once you strike, I think 4 times with a 5 attack unit, and then all of a sudden it's a free strike spell. It costs 2, and sorry, it costs 3, and it goes down to 1 mana if you have the Reputation requirement fulfilled. Get more on Nexus health. Support champions get a common item. This has Legion Drummer, something you just take out the deck. It's kind of whack. Whispered Words becomes cheaper. Well, it's not cheaper, sorry. It's a it's a 2-cost draw 3 in her deck, which is insane. Really good for recovery when you're doing that. Legion Saboteur gets Giant's Belt, completely irrelevant. Blaze Edge gets Charging Sigil, so important once we go down to the items, right? It's such a crazy thing that you have a Blaze Edge that does 3 damage that's also tied to a power that you can pick up during the game. So really important to know that. Get more Nexus health. Common items. Angela has a Savage Shield, completely irrelevant. The House Spider having Farsight Alteration. So they actually know that they can give Farsight Alterations to units. I don't know why don't they just give it to champions. But the House Spider having it in the beginning is amazing because it's a perfect turn start move. You literally play the House Spider and then you have 2 blockers and then LeBlanc comes out the next turn. It's like literally perfection. I don't even know anyone's deck that's built that great. It's insane that that's even a thing. Like I said, that doesn't matter. You get your second common slot 3 at level 25. So at level 25, that's when you could have all 3 greens. You can have 2 blues and a green. So that's what the step that you're looking for. And then at level 30, you get your final blue slot. House Spider that has studded leather, making it a little bit more formidable. That's actually relevant, in my personal opinion. And boom, there you go. So let's now go over, because I'm like jumping all over the place for this review. So let's take all these off. I always pretty much suggest Z Drive for additional rerolls to make your run a little bit better, or you can go with the Chameleon Necklace, right? Those are 2 really good greens that I think are really not situational, but really good, because usually, if depending on your star level, you can have the character level 0, right? Level 0, they have that 1 green slot, but they have increased stars. Like if you have a 1-star, 2-star from all the vaults that you've been getting, you might just want Chameleon Necklace just so you can get her out in the field, right? And then everything will just kind of spawn through her. But maybe if she's leveled a little bit, you just want the extra rerolls, because the unit is based more on what they get during a run, more so than just the power. I would say that LeBlanc is more based on what she already has, so I would think that the Chameleon Necklace is really good. Now, you guys obviously saw that I did the Ravenous Hydra, Triple Ravenous Hydra, and it was hilarious, right? If you're going against any challenge in which that the enemy has a lot of units on the field, right? If they have at least 5-ish enemies, 5 is a lot though, but if they have 5 enemies on the field, 5, 10, 15, she will instantly level and then or create a mirror's image every time she's summoned. Every time you play mirror image, everything. Obviously, what is it? Blocks it. Tough does block that. It does hinder it a little bit, but it's insanely strong. And there's not that many characters that can abuse when I'm summoned as much as she can, so you can keep doing it. As you saw in the video, I'll link the video. You know what? That's gonna be better. You guys want to see some of the better builds? I'm just gonna link it. Link and watch that entire video. Like, me showing a snippet is like not even gonna do any type of justice. Go watch that video. It's insane how good Ravenous Hydra is, but more in an encounter where they're summoning a bunch of units. So if they are any type of build, I think really good ones are like, I think Galio, maybe Kai'Sa, I can't remember, I haven't fought them in a while, but some of these encounters, they swarm the field. They swarm the field before you do. Lysandra is a good example as well too. They swarm the field and you can just kill it, but obviously Lysandra, if they get I am inevitable, you probably don't want to do that. Another good one here is when I'm summoned, give vulnerable. You summon one, they get vulnerable, and then you can pick your blocks a lot better. And then of course they have the other one, which is the stun, which is Everfrost, right? So there are a bunch of bronze Requilies, so there's a high chance that you're gonna have 3 double 2 copies of some of this stuff. So when I'm summoning stun the strongest enemy, she plays herself, it stuns. You attack, stun. You play Mirror's Image, stun. You can stun the whole board, attack, get more Mirror's Images, and so you can have stuns for your next turn. Absolutely phenomenal. That's really the only ones. Before, Lost Chapter was good, but they took the what I'm summoned from it. You could play and have it, but nah, it's just not as good. I'm sorry. So those are the only ones that I suggest. Of course, Banshees feel really good because of the fact that you start off with a spell shield. Really depends on where your character is leveled. So let's go up into the blues, right? So we're still looking for stuff that is summon based, that is gonna assist us to do magical things. So we have something like Star Gem. Star Gem is really good with some of the other things. You wouldn't run triple of them. I'm just putting 3 here, but usually you want this and then maybe another one that gets you other champions. So each Star Gem there is -2 on the champions cost. On top of that, it's East Leblanc that is currently on the field. We already talked about that. So East Leblanc on the field is then giving you even more cost reduction. So you actually don't even need 2 of them, right? You could run 1 Star Gem and then have other things that is going to give you some of the other purples that are going to put champions straight into your deck. And then with multiple of them, you can then just slam a bunch of champions on the field. Another reason why it would also be pretty good if she was a 6-star, the constellation with the support champion getting something beneficial as well would be kind of insane. Here it is, Stalker's Blade. You guys already know we were coming to this eventually. Triple or double Stalker's Blade I think is really good. I don't think you need necessarily triple. You need targets, right? So sometimes I feel like the triple is a little bit obsessive. If you have 2 of them, it's not that bad because you can hit something twice, it will likely die, and then you can still have the option of putting in that other slot. I think that that's pretty good in my opinion. You guys saw me do the Luden's Echo, Luden's Tempest, right? Luden's Tempest is for each one that she's out there, it's gonna do it, and it's gonna start to duplicate that, right? So we did that plus the warning shot, which we haven't come across because I'm going down upwards, which is Dreadway's cannon. So you summon her, they attack, and then that's another way. You can also do something like this. You get 4 of them at a time. Obviously, it's a hand space issue. That's something we learned with Lilia. Hand space issue is going to happen, but each LeBlanc that's out there, you have 2 things doing 2 damage, or if you have multiple of the Ludens, it's gonna, again, just watch the video. It's insane. It's absolutely insane how many different ways you can play her and actually be effective dealing with the enemy. You could even do a combination of this. Like, look at this weird combination, something like this, right? You get a couple warning shots, just smack them in the face a little. You got the Luden's Tempest, because guess what? We also know that she has her own champion spell that does 2 damage to stuff, so that also works with that as well. So you could even realistically, maybe not, I guess Dreadway is still better, honestly, but like I was thinking like Grand Generals, but Dreadway is just a better way to go, honestly. There's no real reason to do anything outside of that. I never did Hymn of Valor, but Hymn of Valor is a thing. It just costs 3, so I wouldn't want to spend 3 unless there was some way I'm getting my mana back. That would be something where I would try to be cheeky and get mana deposit on LeBlanc, and I'm like, yeah, let me just keep doubling her power with this. But again, that seems really weird. Next up, we have the fun of all funs. I don't have 3, but let's depend. I have 3. When I'm summoned, grant epic items to 3 random cards in deck. Now, I'll maybe go, when I go back to the items in the later part of the video, maybe we'll go back and we'll revisit this, right? And that's going to be the aspect of what are those epic items, because there are some that are absolutely atrocious and there are some that are really good. And yes, they can stack. You can get 3 rallies on 1 card, but it's just more cheeky. It's obviously more a way more fun way to play her. It's RNG based, but it is fun. It's mostly for the fun of it. You also have this, which I don't see that many people do, multi-golden spatula thing. I think that'd be pretty funny because you get +1/+1 for every 30 cards and a random keyword for every 30 cards. So you can really stack that. The only problem is that the original OG LeBlanc doesn't really get this. This is more of a Lilia thing. She wouldn't get the extra boost, but the additional ones would. And then I guess you could maybe do that and then maybe evolve, and then you run which we didn't do. Maybe I'll do that. I'll do an evolve LeBlanc one day, so those other ones will die, and then the OG LeBlanc will get the carapace. Or I could, instead of doing that, they'll summon, get the keywords, and then I could do something cheeky like, where is it? Corrupted Star Fragment. Eat the other LeBlanc with all those crazy keywords and stats. I get all the stats and keywords. That's another really cool thing that you can do. It's literally endless. We could even do like the other thing in slot 1, maybe warning shots, and then we have Chemtech if we run a stall. She's very easy to stall the fights. She can also end the fights quickly. She can literally do anything, and that's why, like, again, this is why I wanted to do her for my little birthday guide. She can literally do anything. It's not anything, obviously, but she has a lot of flexibility that are fun. They're fun, damn it. Let me go all the way down here. This is the Oath of the Guardians, was the other one I said with the Star Gem, right? Oath of the Guardians, put 5 level 2 champions into your deck. You can then you draw one of them. If LeBlanc is here, and this is on play, so you have LeBlanc on there, she's automatically going to reduce it. So you can literally go Oath of the Guardians and 2 of the Star Gems, and any champion is going to be 4. You have 2 LeBlancs, it's going to be 8 cost reduction. kind of nuts. You also have Portal Plows. Create 2 random cards from your regions in your hand and reduce them by her base cost. So it's going to be reduced by 3. The minimum is you're gonna have a 4-cost card in your hand. I don't think that's crazy. And then we also have Spectral Scissors here. Attack, it has to be an ally, and it will summon an Ephemeral. Not the greatest thing, but there are a lot of good things because of Mirror's Image. There are allies that there might be that you want to have another additional summon on those allies that will also help out if she was, again, 6-star, but she is not. So let's go back up here and look and see what other things. I do like the Beast Within, and I definitely walked over the other one, the Troll King Crown. Why? It's because they kind of do the same thing. The only difference between the Beast Within, which is really good, is that the Beast Within is a power, and the Troll King Crown's Leblanc has to be on the field. I feel like as far as her slots go, I don't think you'd use either, but it is important to mention that you do have the Sharpen Resolve costing 0, right? So your units overall are going to be strong, so if you're giving them Overwhelm, it gives you an additional win con if you don't have LeBlanc, and you see that based on the game's fundamentals, yay, sometimes you're not going to draw your champion. So it's a very annoying process that I personally hate. We have the Starforged Gauntlets, and of course we have to remember Starforged Gauntlets because she does have a high attack. Anything that's in the 5 range makes it very easy to acquire that exact attack. If we even go, I'm just shortcutting here because I have, what is it, Deadly... We have Deadly Harpoon, we have this, right? Boom, right there. Give her Challenger, give her, when I'm attacking, she can't take damage or die, which would also bounce off of into her summon things. That's a build right there. So on turn 1, I can literally drop her on turn 1. She has Challenger. We have Death from Below, which is whatever, really doesn't really mean anything. But we have Death from Below, and then we have Death Foil, and so that LeBlanc is going to sit on the field. Now you can't do any other combos, which this is one of the reasons why I specifically don't like it. But it is what it is. We also wanted to mention here, because of the secret technique, when an ally gains stats from a spell, it gains it twice that many instead. So that would make her Sharpen Resolves be +6. +4, which is insane amounts of things. I would combine Secret Technique with the other thing that we just spoke about, which is like the Beast Within, where we're kind of having a alternate win con. 2 powers, she doesn't even need to touch the field. That means if I don't draw her, I have a contingency plan in place. I think that that's absolutely phenomenal. And then again, we have an open slot just in case we want to do that. I could possibly even run something like a Pack Powder, right? Attack, she's a 1-drop, and I can attack with the overwhelmed units. If a unit, especially if a unit starts out, if I do that as well, I can just attack with it. There's a lot of really cool things that I think you could do there as well. Jace's Hextech Battery, I kind of like it. You know, it doesn't really help you do anything like that. You refill your spell mana when she's level. She then can play a mirror image regardless. That's another option. But again, it depends on what other things that you have going for yourself. Echoing Spirit, if you just want to. Honestly, she's such a pivotal part of the deck. I wouldn't mind Echoing Spirit, right? Because her champion spell is gonna get reduced by 1, and then reputation will make it reduced by 2, so it actually would make it a free thing, and you'll have so many in the hand. And with 1, right, we're only talking about just take these out, right? We don't bother with them. You play the Echoing Spirit on her, and then you can really go with the Luden's thing. You're drawing into them, maybe you draw, and then they're gonna just do more damage because you have a Luden's Tempest on top of that. That's just another option, right? And then of course we have Chosen by the Stars. I like Chosen by the Stars on any unit that can actually generate a card every turn. You'll always have the Faded proc. She also has the double, so she can Faded proc herself. She can augment herself. The only problem why I don't like Chosen by the Stars with her is because the other LeBlanc comes out and it's not it's not boosted, right? I could also do this this combo as well. Where's the card? I forgot it. Secret Technique, Chosen by the Stars, and I would really bump up this 1 LeBlanc and then just be pushing for game. And I could save this additional slot here for something else, make sure that I have a LeBlanc to constantly give boost to. So really cool, really cool ways. And those are just a couple builds. Hopefully you guys saw the more cheekier builds, the more infamous let me get things done LeBlanc builds, in comparison to one of the other ones that I'm talking about that it might be run dependent and things of that nature. So hope you guys were following me through that entire time. I absolutely love this website. It's the wiki for Runeterra. There you go. I made it bigger for you guys so you guys can see a little bit better. So let's go through all the powers, and this is really important when you guys are actually doing a run, right? Because if you see that a power, or you're gonna get the ability for a power, make sure that you check the rarity that the the station is, and that means that that is more likely to come up. I think you could still get blues and purples from something that's green, but you're going to be high likely. So if you don't have some of these options, maybe reroll for them depending on how screwed you are in your run. You can actually do Afterlife Forbidden. It really depends on if you have like something that's duplicating LeBlanc, then she'll die. Then you'll get 2 LeBlancs out in the field. It's nice and cheeky, whatever. The Bouncing Blades was the one that I was talking about. Round start, create a Fleeting Blade's Edge, and your Blade's Edge has +3 on it. Sorry, +2, so it's a 3 damage Blade's Edge that's constantly in your hand. If you have anything that duplicates spells or anything like that, it's really, really strong. Definitely something to keep in mind. Crush is obviously good if you did not invest into some of the other things we were just talking about as far as Overwhelm. Then you have Overwhelm through your power. You don't have to worry about equipping it in your relics. You are hoping to get it when you're getting powers. I do like Summon Fury because if you have the Stalker's Blade thing, for example, different builds for different things. You have that. When she kills all those units, she's going to get a Fury plaque from that, which is absolutely amazing. Same thing with Disciple of Shadows. Those are all considered Fury, and you'll actually gain stats from that. So just another good thing to keep in mind, depending on what build you have. Obviously, if you're doing looting templates, why the hell would you pick this up? It makes no sense. And Feeling Strike, really good with strike-based builds because, especially if it's something big, you can reduce it by 5, 10, 15 attack. And then boom, it's just sitting there with -15 attack, or if it just dies, it's a double, it's a win-win. And Enfeebling Strike just overall good most of the time. You can also use Enfeebling Strike with your Blade's Edges to or any damage spell to reduce their attack mid on a fast spell, so that's really good as well, obviously. That really seems like the only thing I could really suggest. All the other ones are just like mildly situational, not that great. Next up, let's go into the rares. Domination being really good for the obvious reasons. You rally so you can attack a bunch of times, absolutely phenomenal. Explosive Finale is right under it. Enemies die outside of combat, so again, if you have the strike-based build, all those times that those attacks go through, they will be considered outside of combat. Even if you initiate an attack, again, check the Stalker's Blade. I'm pretty sure it's in that video, but if you initiate an attack, your Stalker's Blade kills it. It is not in combat, it is an outside of combat attack, and they will deal 4 to the Nexus. Absolutely phenomenal. Fast deal here, pretty good. It's just draw. I like draw. And also your fleeting things will go back into your deck and then you'll draw 1 every turn. Helps out a lot, I'd say. I really like the armor gear heads. Gearing up is really good is because you create a card in the beginning. They get really boosted up by the Sharpen Resolve and allowing you to hit your reputations early. So really, really love that card like by a lot. It's crazy. Not mentioning them, these two. I gotta stop even mentioning them, and this for stalling. Obviously, really good to stall out. Inheritance is really good because of your LeBlanc coming out of nowhere. I also like Lie in Wait because LeBlanc would be considered a lurker. So once they start doing that, your LeBlanc will get free stats. If you don't want to waste a reroll, you see Lie in Wait, or you have none, it's a good pickup. It does work on LeBlanc. She is a 3-cost card, so that does work. Anything with Memory Game, overall good. Some of these I don't want to mention, but I feel like someone's gonna be like, why didn't you mention Memory Game? It's overall good. It's pretty self-explanatory. Mystic Meditation finally popping up. I think there was a glitch where it wasn't popping up in people's runs, but obviously amazing, right? Like you can actually let it hit your Mirror's Image in hand or any of your other spells, so obviously good. Phalanx, amazing, right? Mirror's Image your unit, and then now you have a LeBlanc or any other unit really, but unless you have a LeBlanc with barrier, fantastic, and then it will copy it, and then now you have 2 barrier units. For the Mirror's Image alone, it's great, but what's also pretty cool is that you also have a targeting spell that comes in your hand every turn, so you could Sharpen Resolve a unit, give it barrier. Absolutely fantastic. Phantom Prank's really good because you have a pheromone unit as you're attacking. You could play a little Kamikaze cards. I mean, this is self-explanatory. Slow and Steady, absolutely phenomenal. Mirror's Image is an actual Mirror's Image is a slow speed, so we'll actually do it twice. Absolutely crazy. Sorcery, no crap. Same thing, no crap. Stabilize, same thing. Especially if you're going, I think even if you're not going a thing, it's just you're getting multiple copies up front on the field, and you can utilize those multiple copies at that time. So really self-explanatory. What the hell is Supple Stone? I've never seen this in my life. This must be something that only comes out like an Italia run. Like it must be geared to, you have to have landmarks in the deck or something. Each round, the first time you play a landmark, refill mana cost. Oh, that's really cool though. We like that. Best defense is the offense or something like that. Grow your health to your power, fantastic. Most of the units in her deck have high attack, and it will make them way more sturdier. Of course, Typharian Might, same thing, an additional free strike, and that's, again, doesn't matter what build you're going, absolutely phenomenal. And I like Welcome Gifts because it's just, again, really good. Same thing with Wild Inspiration. You have a ton of created cards in this deck. Now on to the epics. Gotta love me some epics. Biggle Dust starting off right here. Biggle Dust Dash, absolutely amazing. Summon ally, summon a created ally, so your LeBlancs will get +2/+2 when they come out of the mirror image or through the passive. Absolutely phenomenal. Can't Stop, Won't Stop. Your Sharpen Resolve buffs will stay there forever. Yeah, we like that. Elemental Winds, obviously only if you're going for the Warding Shot-esque kind of build. Evolution, great. Explosive Entrance, way better than the Death one because you are summoning a lot, so this one would obviously take precedence over that. You love to see it. Share the Bounty, really good because it could bounce off your mirror's image. Just depends on who is there, so obviously really good regardless, but you got to be a little careful how you use it. Sharing is caring, self-explanatory. Spellburn, decent, but not the end-all be-all. Obvious. Grand Plaza, obvious based off what we said. And that's it. I'm not gonna go through the legendaries because all the legendaries are mostly good. There's no like bad version of it unless you have a better option. I will say that the epics are always better, usually better than some of them, like Undying Legion. It really depends on what you're going for. Just be careful of unstable inventory because it really could give Reckoner's Mark to something that you won't want it Reckoner's Mark on. The items, right? The items are the things that you should be looking out for as far as like when you're doing a run, like as you can see Ancient Coin, that's really good on LeBlanc, right? So like just wanted to briefly go over some good ones like when I'm summoned. Anything that says when I'm summoned or maybe that causes something on death because of the ephemeral copy are things that you're looking for. I'm just gonna scroll down as I'm talking. Just really good things. Deathless is crazy on her. It's crazy that's even a common, right? The ephemeral LeBlanc dies every time you're attacking, and then you get another LeBlanc that actually stays stabilized on the field. Absolutely nuts. Same thing with the barrier thing. Summon a blocker real quick. Draw could get you in trouble, but definitely don't want to not mention it, right? I think this is important to mention. What else do we got here? Chimes, of course. Spell Shield, absolutely phenomenal. Protect yourself. Wear protection. Dragon Tooth, obviously because of what I've said, depending on the relics that you have on her, if she's dealing damage and she can actually she can actually keep the Fury stacks, then might as well have that on her. It's fantastic. Depending on your build. Flash Bomb, same thing. Cost reduction, obviously. Quick Strike Blade. Definitely have to be careful on what adventure you're going into. I definitely lost a couple runs, or I'll always lose runs to putting on Quick Strike Blade. I try to attack. The units are bigger than mine. Then either I have to keep the card in my hand, which is not ideal. It's just sitting there, or you just play it and they just die on attack. Now you do have Sharpen Resolved, and then depending on what other kooky stuff you got going on, but just be careful when you put Quick Strike Blade on her on harder encounters. Shadow Totem is really cool. It's play, summon, make the ephemeral copy. It won't make an exact copy of that LeBlanc at that time, but really good. Titanify, amazing. Just get an 8/8 LeBlanc, absolutely phenomenal. And then Heal Cost. This one's awesome because regardless of how cost reduced, you actually have her, right? If you have her, it's fine. But what's really cool about this is that it will heal your Nexus. The one that comes out will still heal for 3 because her base cost coming out of the passive is going to be 3. So you will heal 3 every time you do that. But if you make an exact copy of a cost reduced LeBlanc, it will actually be that cost, right? And that also goes to if you have the other Radiant Armor. She costs more than 3. You make an exact copy, it will heal 4. Stuff like that. Hope you guys understand that. Epic. At this point, I feel like we've come together. We can. It's very easy to think about. Black Cleaver, obviously good. Bonded Buckler, I guess if you have a bunch of keywords on her specifically, but it's only for the round, so it's not that crazy. You're playing a bunch of spells, obviously double attack, really only if you have Overwhelm somewhere in the kit you want to get that. Outside of that, pretty useless unless you have, or Challenger is another option there. Hex Tech, not really. Scout, duh, really good. Summon, Capture. Could, depending on, like, I'm thinking mostly Lysandra could mess you up because the ephemeral one will come and capture and then resummon that same unit after she's done attacking, so you got to be careful with that. Mana Deposit, absolutely busted, giga busted. It's just so good because you get the mana back. You can make again the ephemeral copy, but when you're attacking, you're gonna get 3 mana back, or 4 if she actually has the Radiant, Radiant Armor, I think it's called, the item. Rally Banner is pretty much a GG. I've shown that many a times. If you get Rally Banner, it pretty much puts you in an infinite attack loop. You can attack, LeBlanc comes out. As long as you have a unit to attack with, LeBlanc comes out, it's going to get ephemeral, it's going to die, and then boom. Now, if you have Death's Foil, you will be screwed out of this combo, so you got to be a little cautious using that. But yeah, you attack, LeBlanc comes out, dies, rally, attack. It's an infinite loop. You can't stop it. The only way they can stop it is if they can't even, actually no, they can't do play. They could do like play, give this unit last breath rally. That's how they would be able to change it. But it would just be kind of annoying if they did that, but that's how they could change it. But yeah, that's an infinite combo on any, specifically on LeBlanc, because it's all you have to do is keep attacking and you'll keep getting the rally. Reckoner's Mark, sometimes it's super kamikaze. You got to be careful what adventure you're in, and then you can go by that. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is all she wrote. So, based off everything that you saw and heard, what do you think about LeBlanc? I like this. I kind of like the videos just to be talkative. I don't trying to string in things. I want the videos maybe to have video examples to just be able to go directly into that instead of it. And if I don't have a playthrough, then I'll have to show examples. But go watch those videos, guys. Like those, you'll see how absolutely insane LeBlanc is in video format, and going throughout a run, you'll see me make decisions. I think that's way more impactful than me showing like one little clip. But you guys let me know. I haven't done this in a while, so yeah. And also it just helps me editing wise. Let's keep it real. Are there any characters that you guys would like me to do a guide on? I could do a guide on literally any character, even if I don't have them leveled. I have a good understanding of the game. The only thing I won't have is obviously experience. I'll be going off of assumptions or maybe something that I've seen instead of my own natural gameplay. So hopefully you guys enjoyed. LeBlanc was great. If you guys want me to do another one, I'll do it. I'll do it. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.